Hello world, today I want to present to you an unboxing of a Wessex Wyvern tuba. This is the 5.4 version. As you can see, it came in a big box like this. I had to help the FedEx person carry it up to my apartment. So I'm going to rip the box apart and open up to the case. This is what the box looks like when it's open. As you can see, there's a lot of foam filling in there. And there's a very nice case that's better than I was expecting. I was thinking of one of those zip-up kind of clothy cases on the outside. This is an excellent case. Much better than I expected. Next I'm going to pull the foam out. Show you guys what it looks like without the foam in there. See if there's any goodies. Also, if you notice on the outside of the box, it says Wessex Wyvern, made in China, TC59D lacquer. That's the type I got, just lacquered. Yep. So we'll continue on now. Now I've pulled the foam out, the case out, and there seems to be something in the bottom of the box here. Let's find out what that is. Here's what was inside that bag. We have a Wessex hat, a Wessex Tubas branded pencil, wessex-tubas.com, and a 2017 tuba and brass catalog, which seems very nice. They have their euphoniums, their trombones, every variety of instrument that they sell on their website is in this magazine with prices and contact information and such at the back. And their 2-week money-back guarantee if you don't like your instrument, and their 3-year warranty on any parts that break due to manufacturer defect. So that's a nice little gift that I can take to people and show them, hey, here's the tuba prices, here's where I got my tuba, if you're interested, there's where you look. And of course the invoice, which I'm not going to turn around because I don't want people to have my address. Next, we're going to attack the case, see what's in there, check out the actual horn itself. Okay, here is the hard case. Again, like I said, I think this is a lot higher quality than I was expecting. No offense to Chinese instrument manufacturers, but generally they just do a cloth case with some wheels, no latches, usually with a zipper. So it's nice to have these metal latches. On the opposite side of the case, away from the top of the instrument, we have some little notches here, not sure what they're for, probably to balance the case. We have some nice feet here. They're made of rubber on the very bottom. They feel pretty solid. It will be nice to stand the tuba up in that case, on that case, without any fear. And I'm not sure if you can really see that well, but we do have 2 wheels, and they're not quite like the soft case wheels I had on my Mac Brass 410. Those were kind of a excuse me, an off-road kind of wheel. These are nice and smooth, and probably about the size of a tennis ball or a racquetball. So I haven't even opened this tuba yet. Of course, we have a carrying handle here on the top, and we have a carrying handle here on the side. So this is my first time opening this case to my new tuba. Let's make sure everything is undamaged and in good condition. Okay, here's the horn, again wrapped in plastic. As you can see, there are some engravings on the finger buttons here, and it comes with a mouthpiece. Looks like a pretty typical mouthpiece, a little light. Compared to my Mike Finn 2B, every mouthpiece is light. The material here, oh wow, that is very soft, is foam. Some squishy foam. Feels good. Maybe not the most solid, but definitely good, higher quality than expected. More foam here along the edge. And we have a foam insert inside of the bell. I've heard that these make a great tuba mute. They do this to protect the bell during transport. Okay, I'm going to try to take the tuba out. I don't see any real pockets or anything in here for, pencils or valve oil or anything like that. So that could be a needed improvement, unless it's hidden here. I'm going to take the tuba out of its plastic wrap. We'll check out the whole horn. You can see, and will save you time when you buy one of these horns, the plastic wrap actually starts at the bottom of the horn. Okay, here's the horn in all of its lacquered glory. Of course, here we have the Wessex logo. Can't really make it out very well, but it's definitely there. So we have our engraved finger buttons. Let's try one. And our rosewood lever here for the fifth valve. Fifth valve is right here. The other four are right here. We have our slides. This one has a little lever on it to help you pull. So all the slides are basically in the relatively same area. There's a tag on the horn back here. This is a quality check. Checked by Mr. Nichols himself. Our serial number and a batch. The great thing about Wessex 2 is that Jonathan, the guy who runs it in the UK, if you give him the batch number and your serial number, he will tell you specific things about your instrument. And, exactly how it was manufactured when, which is amazing. Of course, we have our spit valves here. They all seem to be functioning. I don't see any issues with the horn yet. Spit valve here. I believe there's one up here somewhere. Okay, now I'm going to take the horn out of its case and inspect some of the slides just to see what kind of grease they have. I'll be oiling the valves, see what the factory did. The inside of the case looks like. It's tough to see, but there's some pads here that are specifically designed for this tuba, so it sits in there very tightly. And I found this black bag here. Not sure what's in here. Looks like we have a mouthpiece extension. Some other goodies in there. A spring and a couple of pads for a valve. And that seems to be it in that bag. Here's the tuba standing up. Okay, and I'm back. I recently went to the repair shop. I grabbed some valve oil. I'm going to take apart the valves, show you some of the slides, grease them up, that kind of stuff, just so you can get a feeling for what that's like. I played a few notes on the horn. Sounds great. The response is very, very quick. Probably the quickest I've ever played on a horn. The partials, jumping from a high partial to a low partial, is very easy. I don't have to really change my embouchure much to accomplish that feat. One thing of note, I will be talking about the rotary valve tube. I can't grease it because I don't have any rotary grease or a small needle to do that, so I'll be getting that in a few days. So I'll just start by taking apart the first valve. So you just undo the valve cap. I haven't replaced any of the oil or anything from the factory yet. There's quite a bit of turning of the valve cap that you have to do to get it off. There is the felt, the valve guide. Likewise here. And this is what a Wessex Wyvern valve looks like from the factory. There's the top felt. Inside we can see our spring and where the valve fits into the valve guide. So I'm going to wipe this thing down, throw some oil on it, and put it right back in. Okay, so here is the amount of factory gunk that I kind of took off of the valve. Covered about a quarter of my paper towel or more. Here is the valve once all the gunk's been removed. I see a few, I don't want to say they're errors, but looks like a few factory mistakes here or something, but nothing big. It just looks like a little bit of lack of perfect workmanship, which at this price point would be expected. Of course, the valve is vented. I'm going to grease it now and put it back in where it came from. I want to just compare now the speed of the first valve versus the second. So here's the first valve that I just greased. Very fast response. And the factory valve, just a little bit slower. I can just tell by looking and feeling. So much faster here, a little bit slower there. So we're going to fix up all the valves, get rid of that factory grease, and finish the valves up. Then we'll move on to the slides. Okay, here is my fourth valve. Now there seems to be something a little funky with it that I've never seen happen with a valve before. Looks like there's some pretty big, two big bumps in the middle of the valve. You see that? I don't know if that affects the tuning at all. If anyone has any advice on that, please let me know. If Jonathan, you see this video, let me know if that is supposed to be something that happened with the tuba, or if this is some kind of defect. So far, the fourth valve didn't seem to be out of tune, but I also haven't really tuned the instrument to a tuner yet. I've just been kind of playing on it. Just wanted to highlight that as a potential issue. Take a quick look at the rotary valve quickly, and one small thing to note is that the thumb ring is fully adjustable. I have it now adjusted to where I want it. I actually quite like the rosewood lever. It's nice to touch, and you don't feel like you really have to press down as much as like a metal lever that sticks out like here. You just kind of push it down with your thumb. I like it a lot. One thing that wasn't really provided was one of these to fix where the thumb ring is. I had to lower mine just a little bit. I do wish that one of those was provided, but of course you can always pick one up at your local hardware store or get a nice set from a local repairman or something like that. So let's take a look at this rotary valve. As is typical for these Chinese-made horns, the rotary valve bumpers are quite loud. They're just made out of a hard kind of rubber. There is some nice engraving on top, so that is worthy to note. Here is a rotary valve cap. It's got the factory grease on there. Some more engraving on the back. Let's turn the horn around and look at what the rotary valve actually looks like. There it is. Say quite typical manufacturing. Nothing all that special. Looks to be in better shape than my Mac Brass 410 rotary valves were, but looks to be typical. So I will be oiling that here soon. And another thing to note is that when you have these rotary valves, I played a rotary valve instrument for a number of years. You want to oil all the linkages up through here. Of course, I don't have a needle nose oil cap, but I will be doing that very soon. Okay, now it's time for our tuning slides. I noticed earlier that the tuning slides are very tight in there. So, I try to pull one out. So this is our fifth valve tuning slide. looks to be in good condition. I should take a snake through each of these and up through where it was up in here too, just to be able to get rid of the factory grease and stuff like that. Like I said, the tuning slide was very tight in there. That's typical of these types of horns that are big and made in China. The slides are perfectly machine cut. So I'll be greasing up all these, taking the factory junk off, and going through that whole process. I'll let you know if I find any errors. Slide greased up very nicely. I'm going to add a drop of valve oil on that and then slide each slide in. Okay, I just want to recap my final initial thoughts of the Wessex Wyvern Tuba. Of course, here's everything that it comes with. It comes with a bell insert, which is used to protect the bell. You could use it as a makeshift mute if you needed to. It comes with this small bag. Inside of this bag that says Wessex on it on the inside was a mouthpiece adapter, an extra spring, some cork, an extra black rubber stopper for the rotary valve, and an extra valve guide. I'm probably going to use this bag for my oil and my my slide grease. It comes with a mouthpiece, the Wessex Chief mouthpiece. I'm not sure what copy of mouthpiece this is. I'm sure someone out there knows. Wessex Chief. It comes with a tubas and brass catalog of Wessex tubas with the website and all their information on it. Comes with a Wessex tubas pencil, a Wessex hat, a nice, very nice black case, which I would say the only downside of this case is that you don't really have anywhere to store things. There's not really a storage area. What I'm going to do is use this little space here with my tuba, throw my slide grease, throw my valve oil in there, and just leave it in there. Maybe a pencil. What would really make this case great is if there was, like, say, a pencil holder here, and then it opened up into a compartment where you could put things. That would make the case much better. In terms of the horn itself, I haven't found many issues. Of course, the fourth valve looked like it had some small issues with the machining of the valve. It had some bumps. Of course, some small issues that I highlighted. The rotary valve is quite loud, mostly because of those rubber stoppers that are used primarily on all instruments from China that are this way. Another small improvement factor would be including a tool to be able to adjust this thumb ring with the instrument. In terms of the slides, they were all very, very tight. If you don't like tight slides, then I would recommend taking the slides to a machine shop and having them lap them one more time or so. I personally don't have any problems with this. I feel that once I start greasing and using this tuba regularly, the slides will eventually come as well. Of course, when you get the horn, make sure that you remove all this factory grease, all the factory oil from the valves and the slides. Once you do so, I think you will be very pleasantly pleased with the piston valves here. I am. They're awesome. I thought they were going to take a lot of time to break in, but they are very broken in right now. In terms of the tone of the horn, the playability of the horn so far, I've been very impressed. The horn has a great range, and it's very easy to slot into that range, and it's very little difference between the upper register and the lower register. Very little effort has to go in. The low register in particular sounds very dark, very full, very easy to play. Does not require as much air as many other horns that I've played. One other improvement factor that I see about the case that I would like to see is here on the case, you can't really see it, there's an indentation for a mouthpiece. I wish that indentation was deeper. When I replaced the Wessex Cheap mouthpiece with my own Mike Finn, I sometimes have a little bit of difficulty closing the case because of that mouthpiece section is not really that deep. If they could cut that out more, that would allow a lot more variety of mouthpieces that could go in there.